cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back to Music Monday, y'all. Got another great topic. We're going to be talking about the most influential black music executives. Some of these names, of course, y'all going to know some of them. Some of them may not sound so familiar, but we're going to figure out where you may know or may have heard of them from and what they're actually doing in the actual music world, so to speak. Not in no particular order. This is not saying one was greater than the other one. This is just a list of the most influential black music executives. So first on the list, we got, of course, the godfather of executives. Who you think that would be?
He just passed away.
No, Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons.
Okay.
I thought
His godfather is in a sense.
You know who I'm talking about? The black godfather?
Clarence somebody, right?
Yeah, Clarence.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But I know exactly who you're talking about, but not him.
Okay.
So Russell Simmons is actually the godfather of executives. Of course, y'all know Russell Simmons was Def Jam. He had he brought out Run DMC, of course, and a couple of other good music acts to Def Jam music. He also had a great success in Fat Form. He widely successful. He sold that brand for nearly $140 million in 2004. So Russell Simmons is a real big influence, I guess, on knowing how to do business and how to increase a business. But he also helped a little bit in hip hop. Def Jam recordings, of course, we know they put out a lot of different acts out of New York. They even had Ludacris, of course, which
Def Jam South.
Yeah, Scarface supposedly had been a part of back
President.
then at that time. So, yeah, Russell Simmons is on that list.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's go ahead. This is the list. Go ahead. I ask later. You might hit the names because I just wouldn't have made him the Godfather. There's two others I would have given the Godfather title than him. That's all.
I would feel safer with them saying Godfather of hip hop executive or something like that.
There you go. That's that.
Because
then I would have said that. Hip hop, I would have given it to him. But when you say Godfather
of what?
Hip hop music. Yeah.
I don't want to get too sidetracked, but y'all know who the first artist to sign to Def Jam?
Don't remember.
Was it Chris Cross? No, not LL.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know Run DMC was not a part of Def Jam.
They wasn't. No. Until Russell brought them.
They were profiled.
Yeah. So next, independent mogul.
Sosa. I said So Def. I don't know what that came to my mind, man. I don't know.
So the next independent mogul on this list, I'm gonna say, is Master P.
Now that's a good one.
Also known as Percy Miller. So he's a exec out of course, y'all know, No Limit.
Yeah.
Make him say,
nah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I got.
So P had discovered and created his own sound, of course, with his, New Orleans music, put out a lot of groups. And right now he's very successful in other things that he's doing, such as he's got the snacks,
Rap Snacks.
Yeah. Rap Snacks. He's
entrepreneurial.
He's very entrepreneurial. The Rap Snacks, of course, and he got the noodles, A couple of things he got.
Yeah,
Potato
tennis
chips.
shoes at one
Tennis
point.
shoes, yeah. He was doing a lot of stuff, so he should be on this list. He
Yeah.
a multi-platinum success.
I noticed doesn't have anything to do with the topic, but boy, when I hear Mass P, that boy named his boys Hersey, Mercy, and Percy.
For
Yeah.
real?
Versey.
Yeah.
Versey, Mercy, Percy.
Yeah, he was staying where his name was. So, Rock Nation's finest on this list, y'all. Jay-Z, of course, he's one of the most influential, of course, businessmen.
And also next on Kendrick's list. Let me stop.
Well, I mean, you saying something now,
I'm just saying.
Why you think that?
Just listen to the lyrics. I think he's keeps saying he's the number one. That's it. He's the one. So,
Well, he can feel like that.
and in order for him to do that, he gotta come for
he
Jay-Z.
has a right to feel that way. But in 2004, Jay-Z became the first rapper to actually be president of Def Jam, in which is what Russell Simmons began. So he's also responsible for a lot of other people like Rihanna, Kanye West, getting them started. Also Rock Nation. So he's an entrepreneur. He I don't know his network, but I know it's way up there. One of the top.
Oh yeah.
Paid. So shout out for that. Next on this list is, of course, the founder of Motown Records, Berry Gordy.
That's the name I was looking for. That's who I would have given the Godfather.
So he's responsible for helping a lot of people's careers of some of the people we grew up on, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, a lot of the great older artists, the music we grew up on. So he was a big influence for them and helped out in a lot of ways for the culture, of course. So shout out to the founder of Motown Records.
There's a nice documentary on Berry Gordy on Netflix, man.
I need to check it out.
I need to check it out.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So next on here, this is a guy who I didn't think would have been on this list, but he's here, and I can understand why. L.A. Reid. Now, what L.A. Reid is responsible for is Atlanta flourishing in the hip hop world, music world. With, of course, Babyface, because they co-founded LaFace Records.
LaFace
Yep.
Records.
Yeah, and they put a lot of people on. TLC, Usher. A lot of different people they put on. And also, he was the CEO of Island Def Jam before he went to Epic Records. So L.A. Reid had a lot to do with a lot of different artists and a lot of different labels and a lot of different musical talents out here. So that would definitely make him one of the top on the list.
Yes, sir.
Now, this lady, Sylvia Robinson. So now, she was a hip-hop pioneer due to the fact that she's a co-founder of Sugar Hill Records.
Yeah.
So she's behind those big hits like that Sugar Hill Gang did, Rapper's Delight, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, that Message.
Yeah.
She's the co-founder of the label, so she had a lot to do with getting those guys' names out, which, they did fairly good to be the first rap stuff coming out. So that makes her a definite pioneer because it's putting hip-hop on all together. So, again, I think that's wonderful. Definitely wonderful for the hip-hop culture. And she also had a group called Treacherous 3. I kind of remember the Treacherous 3.
Cool Mo D.
And then the Crash Crew. I don't quite remember them, but she helped a lot of groups, get out in the rap world, getting rap started. So she's a pioneer of rap, period. So definitely needed her to be on this list.
I wonder why her and Russell didn't link up, on a business level with both of them trying to get hip hop started. Or
You would think.
I think that sometimes, even today, I would think that sometimes if you have a boss mentality,
So,
and you run across somebody else with a boss mentality,
the egos.
You can't
clash.
somebody has to lead in some way, even if it's unspoken words or
Right.
something.
Right. So now here we go to Damon Dash. So Damon Dash is on the list, and of course he was a co-founder of Rockefeller Records alongside with Jay-Z. But most people are saying, and this is a quote that most people are saying, that there might not be a Jay-Z without a Damon Dash. I'm guessing what that quote means is Damon Dash was the brain to the business part of what was going on with Rockefeller Records. So he probably knew more of the business
aspect of it. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Clothing
when Jay-Z
line.
was a rapper,
Yeah,
Damon Dash probably taught Jay-Z the game of how. That's what the quote sounds like to me.
right.
So anyway, just was trying to explain that a little bit, but Damon Dash has a lot to do with Kanye West as well as Jay-Z being where they are today. You know, so Damon Dash worked with a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Damon Dash. He on that list. Got to be influential, man. So I think Damon Dash was influential to Jay-Z, man. Just honestly, you know. So now, next on this list, we all appreciated where he came from. We all appreciate what he gave to the hip hop community. He was a gangster, of course, known as Eazy-E. You know, provided the world with NWA.
Yep.
You know, Ruthless Records, stuff that we grew up on. The first, and actually, to be honest, this is the first gangster rap.
Yeah, I was gonna say the originator.
This is the originator of gangster rap.
So, what makes him an influential executive? What is it about him that makes him
I'm guessing his drive, what drove them to that point. And I would think if you saw the movie, the NWA movie, I just want to reference to that he didn't even think he had what it take to do it.
So is it him or is it Jerry Eller?
That's what I was wondering, because I know they call him the manager, and that's
Right,
all
but-
they know him as.
Well-
But Eazy was the money man.
Well, because somebody had to bring it to the table. And it wasn't Jerry Heller that brought it to the table. It would have never been created if it had not been for Eazy-E to say, yeah, I'll put the money behind it.
So Eazy-E put the money behind it, but wouldn't you say that Dre brought it all to the table?
Yeah, as far as the sound is concerned.
So am I?
Do you
But-
think that Dre? I get the sound, but do you think that Dre brought Q, DOC, Yella, and Eazy-E? And Eazy-E?
Yeah, I think what Dre did was connected them all. You know, in a sense of saying, hey, this is what I got. I got this over here. I got this over here. Because they didn't all know each other at first.
Yeah.
That was something that, you know, they put together because Dre started living in the neighborhood. So they, you know, start hanging out with each other, whatnot.
Freddie G did what I did. I was waiting on Barry Gordy. Remember, I was like, man, I ain't putting. I'm not putting Russell Simmons first over Barry. But I waited. So I'm guessing we probably have to wait. And if he's not on here, Dr. Dre, I'm
Well, hold on. What we
I'm
doing?
gonna be hurt.
This is no specific
Okay.
order.
Okay, I
This
know.
is not
There's
saying
no order.
There's no order.
it's not saying
Okay.
one was better than the other. So
Gotcha.
let's not confuse that because
I was just trying to get an understanding of how
of
influential.
why he would be influential.
right.
So I would say, you know, he put gangster rap on. He had a lot to do with it. Had he played a big role in it. Had he not invested in it, I don't think anybody else would have. You know, and it gave a sense to other people who were, you know, in that category, I guess, to say, you know what, I can do this if Eazy can do it. So
Yep.
I guess that would make it influential because there was a lot of independent labels out here after. Nobody knew how to run a record label till gangster rap came out. And everybody seen that the gangsters can do it. Shit, I can do a record label too. I got to put some money behind it. And that's why it was so many independent labels in Houston. I'm sure it was so many independent labels in Vegas, Cali, Florida, New Orleans. You know, some of them even are on this list, actually, you know, as we talk about
how
it.
they washing their money.
Yep. So now we mentioned New Orleans. Birdman is on the list.
Oh yeah.
So
Cash Money.
he's influential, of course. So he's the founder of Cash Money, and of course, you know, he's responsible for Wayne's career. Got to start with Juvenile's career. A lot of different guys. Manny Fresh as a producer.
Cash Money.
Cash Money. You know, he's responsible for that, which also made a way for Lil Wayne to have his label and then bring out Drake and Nicki Minaj on Young Money. So definitely influential for Birdman to be on this list. I think he deserves to be on this list because he did kind of help New Orleans. Even with there being a No Limit Records out there, he was still able to climb up to the charts as well as the rest of the people did. So that's really, really good. Now, this lady, and you probably never heard her name before, but she's very important to the music industry. Sylvia Rome. Now, Sylvia Rome, what she is, she ended up becoming a president of Atlantic's East and West Records. So she was kind of a big wig, and even after leaving Atlantic, she went to head Elektra and Motown. So she played a lot of big moves in the about 2 decades of Motown, and you know Motown had a lot of people. So she played a big role in helping getting people on those labels to where they need to be as far as being well-known artists. So shout out to her. You know, I think that's a really good thing that it's a woman. And you know,
that's the second one on there.
Yeah, this is the second one on there, and that's really not amazing. I mean, because they can do a lot, man, and long as they put their mind to it, they can do it. So next on my list, this is one of Houston's own, of course. Matthew Knowles is on the list, and of course, y'all know he's responsible for the big group Destiny Child, also father of Beyonce Knowles. So he's on the list because he knew talent, and he put the group together and took them a long little distance, got them to their highest peak in their careers as a group, Destiny Child. So now, had he done that with another group after, I don't recall if there was one that he had other than Destiny Child. I think it was just them, but either way, he's on that list, and shout out to for him to bringing Beyonce, you know, because had it not been for him, we wouldn't know what Beyonce is.
Right. Shout out Matthew Knowles.
So now this next person, another Houston's own, is on this list. We talking about Jay Prince now.
Yeah.
So Jay Prince is on this list, and he's promoted the Houston rap scene for over 3 decades. So we know the Ghetto Boys have been around for a long time. We know how long Jay been doing this Rap-A-Lot thing, you know.
Yeah.
But they've made it to a point to where he's respected as, you know, one of the. His name may not be as large or known by the masses of people, but the people that are known are respect.
They know him.
What he does. You feel what I'm saying? So it puts him in a different lane, per se, as somebody that's famous. So of course we know he also used to manage these boxers.
Yeah.
He managed Andre Ward as well as Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yeah, long. Yep.
So yeah, he's the most influential businessman, you know, musical businessman in the music industry. A lot of people know of him, and he's had a lot of different good artists that he worked with also. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's partially or some sort of way connected to Drake's career as well. So, you know, he knows what to do to stay in there. So now this next person, and he's good on this list, and I'll tell you why he's important too. Kevin Liles. If you know Kevin Liles was the like the president over at Def Jam for a long time. He headed Def Jam, working alongside with Russell Simmons.
He was like Russell right hand man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. That's what he was. And see, once that was over, he started doing Island Def Jam music group, and that was just a different portion of Def Jam. But then also he was with Warner Music Group. So Kevin Liles was responsible for a lot of people's careers too, whether or not we know it. But those people that play those president and vice president roles at these companies are making a lot of decisions and spending a lot of money for these companies and for these artists to get on in certain places. So that's why I think they're most influential, because whatever you need to do your product, they're trying to, help create this product that you're trying to create. So they look out for you. So that's what makes them important in the industry. And here's another one, Dr. Dre.
There it is. See, I tell you, all we do is wait.
Yeah, he established himself early though. We know he came with stuff back in the day before you turn off the lights with Michelle A. What was it? World Class Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
A lot of different stuff that he was responsible for. Even a lot of these artists, that's been hot. We know everything the man put out was good. Everything he's put out, if it was a single that, with any artist, it was what it was. It was hot. Just no matter what, where everything he touched was hot. So, his network is not far from 1 billion. So, he doing what he's supposed to do, right? Of course, working with people like Snoop, Death Row Records. And then he left Death Row Records and done his own label, which was Aftermath. So, definitely most influential, especially with having almost $1 billion in net worth. You're doing pretty good at that point. Here's one of the oldest, one of the older, but greats, Smokey Robinson. So he's the artist and songwriter producer, and was the top act for Motown back in his day. So he stepped up and became the vice president of Motown for 2 decades. So he was responsible for a lot of people's careers. And honestly, I didn't know that he was even the vice president of Motown.
Smokey?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
For 2 decades. And he helped grow the legacy tremendously. Without him, Motown might not have been an influential black-owned music label. So Smokey had a lot to do with picking those groups and putting them out, and I guess choosing songs depending on the creativity that the artist had. Smokey was involved in a lot of it. Next on this list, this guy I had never heard of, but then once you see some of the people that he was responsible for being known, you'll be like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, he's a key figure. Kadar Massenberg. Have any of y'all heard of him?
Never heard of that guy.
No, I never heard of Kadar.
Well, so he's the reason for neo soul. Back when in the 90s when neo soul came out, he's responsible for Erykah Badu and D'Angelo. He managed D'Angelo. So this was his era of music that he kind of put in the limelight.
Yeah, I can see why he's influential. Or he's labeled as being influential.
Yep. So even though he was doing that, he would listen to talents of Motown, and then he was the president of Motown from 1997 to 2004. So, that's why I say I didn't know these names. He was president while Smokey was vice president. So he was in there. So you got a neo-soul person and Smokey Robinson, and some form and fashion, they're going to end up getting into the hip-hop world as well. So next, this guy, may not have heard his name before, but remember, these people are influential, so they are senior presidents or stuff, seniors in the music industry.
Yeah.
Steve, I want to say that's Stout.
Steve Stout. Why's that
I've
name
heard
sound
that
familiar?
name.
Me too. Oh, is it not RCA, but what was that company?
Well, he's the CEO of a translation marketing agency. Founder of United Masters, which is the online distribution site that most artists are using right now today. United Masters. So that way you own your masters and you still get paid for your streams. I've heard that company. I've heard a lot of artists are using that actual site. But anyway, he was key in helping advance hip hop and R&B in the 1990s and early 2000s. At some point, he was a vice president of, check this out, Interscope, Geffen, A&M Records, and the president of Sony Music Entertainment, Urban Music. So this guy really was responsible for a lot of artists you probably can't even list the amount of artists.
Right.
By dealing with the types of labels that he was dealing with. They had most of the top artists back when that was the major play for the music industry. So now, next on this list is going to be Jermaine Dupri. So Def.
Jermaine Dupri, finally on that list. That was So Def, one I made the mistake early.
Yeah, well, he's responsible for a lot of different acts. Of course, Jagged Edge, Bow Wow, Criss Cross.
For some reason, I feel like he's just like so underrated.
JD.
Yeah, I feel like when you mention it, I mean, not for the sake of the show, but like in conversations when you talk about producers, and
it seems like his name holds not that much value.
Yeah, it seems like he just.
I understand, but I feel you, and I don't know why it's like that, but but when you do look at it, you're like, okay,
his catalog,
he is in there.
Yeah, he's shit.
Yeah, for real. Even having the Brat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because his catalog's so old, and he doesn't have no up to date.
But he has a lot of classic hits.
Man.
Yeah, but all of them were classic, but no one is current.
He has
you
that
got
Money
Escape.
Long
You got
song.
think about it. You got Escape.
You got that Money Long song that's out right now that everybody is crazy about.
But I mean,
Made for Me.
But at the time, he was hot. He had Escape. He had
Jagged Edge,
Bow
Wow, Criss Cross.
So you saying 'cause none of them have anything
No,
current?
he had a plethora of artists at one time. Now he just got one.
Okay,
You know
I
what
got
I'm
a question.
Yeah,
You say it's old, right?
yeah, it's old. Yeah, back
So
in our time.
so how old is old to you? What's
20 years.
20 years.
20 years. Yeah, it's over 20 years.
Okay, so 10 years is okay.
Yeah, yes, 10 years. If you have a current artist that had a hit at least within the last 10 years, then you can say, yeah, I'm still
But you look at the list, though. It was a lot of old people on the
Yeah,
list.
it was.
very old.
Yeah.
They were all over 20, and they haven't.
But these
I
are
can see if they-
influential people.
They are influential.
What that is saying is
For a
these
period of
new.
time.
Well, no. What it's saying is, unless you were a younger artist on that list, you're not influential. Is what this is pretty much saying.
Yeah.
So the most of the people that are going to be influential are the older people.
Yeah.
You
that
know,
makes
Dre
sense.
not no spring chicken.
Nah, he not.
Damon Dash not no spring chicken. You know what I mean? So Jermaine Dupri not no spring chicken. It's gonna be the older people.
They not springing, but they aren't chickens because they are older. Because we're not springing. We're their age, but we're just the chicken part.
So going on to the next person, I want to mention, and this is the last one that we're gonna talk about. Mona Scott. She doesn't have a one-track mind.
No.
You know, Mona Scott is of course responsible for a lot of stuff in her earlier day with the likes of Missy Elliott. Freddie G mentioned one of the persons earlier, LL Cool J, and both of those people had wonderful careers, and you know she had something to do with these people because she was the founder of Violator Management.
Busta Rhymes.
So she had a lot of different artists, and now what she's actually doing, if y'all know, I don't watch the show.
Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, she's the actual writer for Love and Hip Hop. So
Wow.
yeah, she's doing a lot for the hip hop community. I think most of these reality talk shows came from Love and Hip Hop.
You said something interesting. You said she's the writer for Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, CEO and multimedia entertainment company.
Okay, yeah.
She created this show, this reality TV series.
Okay.
So
Does it say she the writer though?
Well, creating it is kind of like saying I'm gonna put the blueprint together, and there may be other people writing, of course, you know, if
Well,
it's
I
even
mean,
scripted.
yeah, it's a
because
reality.
It's
supposed
a
to be-
reality
yeah.
show, you know. But I'm sure some of it is slightly scripted, but not really. You
Probably
know.
tell them, So,
But you're not actually writing the
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they just acting this whatever they do. But shout out to Mona Scott, young lady doing her thing. You know, and these are a lot of influential black people that are doing really good for the community. You know, and if you have a frame of mind or a goal or a dream that you want to accomplish, just remember that you have to invest in yourself. You know, you can't make it to where it's just the fact that you want others to believe in you. You have to believe in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. You have to make something happen for yourself. And that's when people can, that's when you get the respect, you know, because people can actually see the way you move. And you always want to gain the respect. So keep that in mind if you're doing your thing. Come back and check us out. Peace. So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast.